Good evening, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101. And this evening, we will be enjoying one of the most famous cigars in all the land, a Cohiba from Havana, Cuba. And this particular one, if we can focus in on that, is a limited edition for 2021. Now, a buddy of mine hooked me up with this particular cigar. I'm really, really excited to actually enjoy this particular smoke. I'm really excited on smoking this particular cigar right now. But again, this is a Cohiba, and this is a limited edition for 2021. Get one more good look at that, family, and then we're gonna get into the discussion here. Okay, so what we're gonna talk about this evening, one of my subscribers reached out to me, and I talk about relationships every now and again. Excuse me, I dropped that. Give me 1 second, family. Every now and again, I talk about relationships. You know, when you make mistakes on camera, it looks worse than what it is. Except if you're stealing something or committing a crime. No, I'm kidding. But no, a subscriber reached out to me by the name of Percy. So this goes out to Percy. He wanted me to talk about relationships. He, I guess, saw my wife a couple of times, and I guess, you know, he said, "Hey, how do you meet beautiful women? How do you get beautiful women?" You know, and I would take a dab at this. I'm no relationship expert, but I've been in many relationships, and I've been on, you know, hundreds. And when I'm talking about hundreds of dates. So there, to me, there's really no relationship expert. You're always getting that particular person's perspective, whether it be your uncle, your father, and you're getting their wisdom and experience, okay? So if you notice right here, ladies and gentlemen, I did a V cut, okay? I want to enjoy this cigar. That is a V cut. But I believe, good evening, Scooter. Nice to see you, brother. Again, when we're doing this, we're going to go ahead and burn the ends here. We're going to get into the discussion. Just burning the ends so it burns evenly, or at least try to burn it evenly, okay? So when we get back here, though, we're going to really talk about this relationships in general between men and women. And I'm going to try to get a little more detailed with analysis and data. So let's get back to this and let's really talk about it. All right. So we're back, and before I get started, you know, I'm enjoying Cohiba, the limited edition of 2021. And for tonight, Candle, will be enjoying. It's from the Man Cave collection of Duck Island Designs. I'm not affiliated with them at all, but they make some really good candles. This one is called Leather, and believe me, ladies and gentlemen, it is leather. Now, these candles are not cheap, in my opinion. They're around $15 for only 10 ounces. I mostly get my candles from Home Goods because you can get a large candle. You see this one here? This one's about 24 ounces. And if I can give you the price, it's only like $13, okay? $13 if you guys go to Home Goods, all right? And that is Manly Indulgence. That's my my favorite brand so far. But I'm going to go ahead and light this up so we can get the party started, okay? Got the candle brewing there. And I'm going to get a good light on my cigar. Now, my buddy gave me 2 of these cigars, and let me tell you, I already love them because I smoked the other one last night, and here I am enjoying this one this morning. And for you guys who want to know more about the cigar, let me go ahead and pop this up very, very quickly. This is how this cigar absolutely looks. This is a very easy, and it's a Cohiba 55, okay? Cohiba 55. It's a really smooth smoking cigar, okay? So let's get into it. So I guess the first thing that I ask myself when it comes to relationships for a guy who's been married a couple times and someone who's been on dates many, many times. And I'll just let you know, my disclaimer is I'm no Kevin Samuels. I'm not going to talk about high value men and all that stuff. That's his perspective. And I believe that a lot of things he says is absolutely true. So I'm not a hater at all because I do look at his content as well. But when it comes to me with a relationship, um, as men, we make a lot of silly mistakes when it comes to relationships. We make some humongous mistakes when we're going to vet women. Okay. And ladies, if you're listening, this is going to be a one-way conversation. I'm talking to the men. I will not go back and forth. Well, men do this and women, I'm not going to go back and forth with this. Okay. Because I'm speaking to one of my subscribers, because Percy, he reached out to me, say, hey, I believe that um, your relationship advice may be profitable for some of us young guys out here looking for, what we would like to think as sensible, respectful, beautiful, intelligent women. Well, here's the thing. First and foremost, you have to realize, are you ready to basically settle down with one person? Are you ready to settle down with one woman? If you need to go out and sort your royal oats and date a bunch of women and sleep around with a bunch of women, then you're not ready for a real relationship and or marriage, because that is where I believe it needs to end. Finding that one special person that you can spend your rest of your life with. Now, some people don't even believe that you should be with one person, that you should have multiple partners. Maybe that was the thing back in thousands of years ago, but in the world that we live today, it's quite dangerous to be with more than one person. And of course, being with more than one person is absolutely expensive. I can recall a time 10, 15 years ago where I'm dating multiple women at the same time. And believe me, it's very, very expensive if you're going to be the man that they think you are, meaning that you're going to court them, you're going to take them out. But the first question you have to ask yourself, are you ready to be with one woman? That's the question that you need to ask yourself. Are you ready to be with one woman? Good evening, Jermaine Anderson. Okay. So that's the take that I actually want to look at, because it's important. It's very, very important. Okay. So some of the things that you need to understand, if you ask that question that you're ready to be with one woman, then the narrative is, oh, you should know what women want. No, I'm not going on that. I'm not going on that bandwagon. I'm not. What I'm going to say is, first define what you want. First define what you want, and first define what you qualify for. If you are a guy that is in the realm of making, let's say 50 grand, and I'm not going to use the whole Kevin Samuels spin to it, but there is some relevance to that. Okay. Because if you notice in our community, there's a lot of people, especially a lot of women, say, oh, well, I have a master's degree, I have a bachelor's degree, and I make over six figures. Now, I've never met so many women who say they make over six figures. So we must have a lot of women out there who are making a lot of money. But then when you see the way they live, you're like, I see your six figures in your clothes, but not where you live and not your car or your house. But the point is, that's what you have to ask yourself. What do you want for yourself out of a woman? Does she have to be overly gorgeous? Does she have to be college educated? Does she have to be in shape and fit? Does she have to be courteous and polite and sweet? Okay, because we understand some of the things that are occurring in our community where a lot of the women are very, very aggressive. They have a lot of masculine energy. Okay, so do you want someone that's sweet, soft-spoken, somewhat submissive? See, I'm not, if you notice, I'm focusing on what I want, because when you get into a relationship, it's a very, very selfish thing. Like, these are the things I want out of a woman. And then if that woman, the current characteristics and traits that I possess, if they want that, if they see that in me, then they can have it. You get what I'm trying to say? So again, you have to be very selfish in your approach of what you want out of your relationship. Because see, I was doing the same thing that a lot of people are doing today. I was showing women what I believed that they wanted because of social media, because of what I heard in some circles and groups and forums. This is what I've done. Good evening, Mitch. So what I would do is I will wear the flashy clothes. I will buy the nice car to attract women that I just probably wanted to sleep with. I didn't even want to have a relationship with over 90% of the women that I went on dates with. Over 90% of the women that I've actually dated. I didn't want relationships with them. I just wanted to sleep with them. And I knew what I had to do to be with those women. But let me tell you, it was not profitable. It was not profitable. It was one of the most expensive things that I've done in my life. If I could just imagine the amount of money that I spent on dating different types of women just to sleep with them. And even when I got into a very mature mode where I just wanted to date someone, vet someone to marry, believe me, I felt like karma came 360 around because I was just running into bucket heads. I was just running into skeezers. I was running into women that belong to the streets. I continue to run in these types of women day in and day out. Then, you would ask other people, hey, man, where should I go to meet some real intelligent, down-to-earth, natural, beautiful women at? And people will tell you, you probably looking in all the wrong places. No, there's always a diamond in the rough. See, the whole narrative that, you need to go to certain places to meet certain types of women, there is some relevance to that. But there's always diamonds in the rough. And that special young lady, that special woman might be there in your neighborhood, may right there live in your community. But again, you have to know what you want. Okay. And then number 3, you have to know what you're not willing to deal with. Because let me tell you this. When I was young, in my 20s, and I was dating, anytime a female, we went through a small tenure of back and forth arguments, or we had disagreements, I was very immature in my dating life. So I was like, oh man, forget it. I don't want to deal with this no more. And so I would just tuck tail and run. Okay. I will run away from the issues and problems within a relationship instead of working them out. And some of the women say, hey, why can't we just talk about this? No, I don't got time for that. And so we believe, and this narrative has come about our community very strongly, that you have a soulmate, okay, that your spirits and energy should align and everything is going to be peachy keen and perfect. That is not the case. That is not the case at all. Everything will not always be peachy keen and perfect. It will not. You're going to have some rocky spots. You're going to have some difficult times in your relationships, okay? But this is somewhat practice for marriage. Now, do I believe there's a certain time that you should go about dating someone for you to vet them for marriage? No, you need someone who is cooperative, and you need to be cooperative, right? You have to have somebody who will let you give and go. You take a little bit, you give a little bit. Therefore, a compromise. And sometimes in a relationship, fellas, what you have to understand, there may not be any compromise, but there may be sacrifices. And I understand in this particular realm, that is a slippery slope, because you don't want to continue to sacrifice, and you end up being the sucker. Nobody want to end up being the sucker. I totally understand that. But you have to understand that in relationship, there's going to be some things that you deal with. Here's some other important things that I think you should look at. In a relationship, you have to be willing to provide security, stability. You have to be committed, and you have to be honest. These are the solid foundations of any relationship and marriage that you must encompass coming in the door. Okay? Regardless of her past hurts, regardless of her past trauma, you're not a therapist. You're not Mr. Fix-A-Woman. You're not Mr. Fix-A-Hoe. That's not who you are. So anything that you don't want to settle for, don't settle for. Don't stand for. You let them know where you stand. You let them know where you are, and they're not willing to compromise, sacrifice, and deal with it, then this is not the one for you. Okay? Stability, security, commitment, and honesty is a hallmark of any relationship. You have to trust your partner, because again, when you combine two lives together from different walks of life in different communities, trust has to be at the heart of the relationship. What else is very important to a relationship? And you already know what I'm going to say. Communication. You have to be willing to communicate, fellas. Because we understand there are some guys who really don't communicate their true feelings, what they want, what they don't want. They just go along and get along. Oh, yeah, that's good, babe. Oh, okay, no worries, babe. Oh, okay, cool. No, every now and again, you have to express your deep emotions about situations. You have to let them know. You know, hey, I had some traumas in my life. I was molested. I was abused, whatever it may be. So they understand why you are who you are. Because essentially, you can't be with nobody for a very long time if they don't know who you are. And believe me, it's very, very difficult. I went some of the same things with my wife before we got married. She said, you're not telling me everything. And so you just got to keep digging and digging and digging and digging. And some of us use this terminology, well, I need to get to know you. How long does it take to get to know somebody? And believe me, everybody has this timeline, okay? Some people are saying a year, 2 years, 3 years. But at the end of the day, you would never really know anybody, okay, except where somebody is willing to tell you, show you, and consistency. Then you will start to know somebody day in and day out. But when you tell somebody those deep, dark emotions, okay, like I recall reading the book Men Cry in the Dark by Michael Baston. Very, very true book, very enlightening, very, very eye-opening. So if you never read that book, Men, I believe that you should absolutely read that book. It's called Men Cry in the Dark, and it's by Michael Baston. Very important. But communication is the most important thing in your relationship next to stability, security, commitment, and honesty. Because before you even get to communication, I mean, that's how I understand how you guys go back and forth, but you have to be committed to the relationship. You know, you almost have to go in when you're vetting and dating a woman to have those marriage vows in sickness and in health, for the good, for the bad, till death do us part. This conversation is for those mature men who are done playing games. Because if you want a beautiful, successful, intelligent woman who's going to be submissive to you, but you have to understand some of the rocky moments in relationship. You can still, in a relationship, be with somebody, love them, have good chemistry, but without communication, it will not work. Without communication, it will not work. Let me tell you that. You have to also have an understanding, because in order for couples to essentially combine both lives together, there must be an understanding, there must be a bond, there must be a feeling of security. There must be an agenda how you go about your relationship. Because some people are just living together. Some people are just dating and they don't even know why they're dating this person. What are they doing for your life? Because again, dating and marriage, believe it or not, is a very, very selfish act at first. It's very, very selfish. When you're going out and dating women, you're dating women that you would believe that you want unless you have underlying things that you want to occur. Okay, that's why I said this have to be a mature conversation between men, because we understand that some of us just go out to date to have sex. Like, oh no, man, I don't want to really no commitment. You know, I got to do all these things as a boyfriend. No, I just want to have sex with a couple of women. I'm good. This is not for you guys. Because let me tell you, family, in relationships, things are going to get difficult. And the number one thing you have to do is have understanding. You have to have respect. What I'm noticing is in our community, when we get upset, we think that's a pass. We think that is a rite of passage to curse somebody out, to call somebody outside their name, to put hands on one another. The best thing is to shut down the conversation, wait till your emotions and feelings have calmed down, and come back to the conversation. But the conversation eventually needs to happen for the sake of communication and for the sake of understanding. These things are very, very important. Let me tell you another thing that I've dealt with, and every now and again I still deal with. You know, after being 20 years of the military, being severely injured, one part of your relationship that you must understand, family, is that physical intimacy is very, very important. That you should never withhold physical intimacy from your partner. We can't be like the women. They get emotional, and some of them are using physical intimacy as a bargaining chip to hurt, to get what they want, whatever. We're not those people. We're a different species. That's not how we operate. We can't do those things. Let's see who we got here. Good evening, learning every day. Thank you, good sir. We got C. Diddy Ice, and we got Prime X. What's going on, everybody? Nice to see you guys. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, C. Diddy Ice. Appreciate that. But these are the things that we need to look at. Because there's a lot of men that's dealing with physical intimacy problems, right? Where some of us are having difficulties with erections. Guess what? That goes back to communication and understanding. Let your partner know, like, hey, I can please you. I can get an erection, but I'm having some problems. I might need to go see a doctor. I might need to go get Viagra or Cialis or horny goat weed or Yohimbe. The reason why I know these things, okay? And some people scientifically would say you really shouldn't have erection problems until you're, in your 50s and your 60s. And some of them guys still don't have, because believe it or not, what I'm finding out about physical intimacy, which is very important to your relationship, for that physical connection. Because see, that's the thing about men. When you're going out and dating women, when you started getting to the point of physical intimacy, even before you got to that point, there needs to be levels of connections. Okay. Do you guys communicate well? Do you guys have a great understanding between one another? Do you guys essentially, when you're having conversations, do you respect one another? See, I don't want to be with somebody who always agree with me. I don't, because that doesn't stretch me. That doesn't make me better, because essentially we want people to make us better. We can both look at the same thing at the same time, but have different thoughts. But for the sake of argument, some people would just say, oh, yeah, I believe that, but you don't really agree with that. So I like some pushback every now and again. Say, okay, well, I believe this and I believe that. Well, I believe this because of that. And you guys are going back and forth, but it's healthy. It's not argumentative. You're having a really intelligent, loving debate. Well, I can see your point on that, but I look at it quite differently. These are the ways how you attack these different conversations. So, man, when you're going out here trying to look for beautiful women, what is under the shell? What is under the mask? These are the things that you should be vetting. These are the things you should be looking for. Some people want to look for, oh, well, I want to know, does she have a great relationship with her mother? I want to know, does she have a great relationship with her father? I don't care. I come from a broken home. I'm a group home child. So if you're looking for a great relationship with my father, if you're looking for a great relationship with my mother, good luck. This is all you're getting. You ain't going to judge me by nobody except myself on my own merits. So that's why I don't look at that. When I found my wife, I didn't say, you know what? Let me meet your mother so I see how you are. Of course, you're not going to say that verbally, but hey, let me meet your wife. I allowed her to say, hey, you mind meeting my mom? Yeah, I'll meet your mom. You mind meeting my dad? Yeah, I'll meet your dad. And I told her up front, hey, my mother passed away years ago. I don't know who my dad is. I had a couple of mentors along the way, and I still have mentors. I'm very, very different about the way I go about, because listen, when you are married a couple of times and you'll hear people say, oh, this is the last time I'm going to get married. Other than that, it's done for me. That means you are admitting that you're going to be a hermit. You are admitting that you're going to be a whore. You're admitting that you're going to be a gigolo. You are admitting that you will be alone. That's what you're admitting, man. Men, we don't do good by ourselves. See, I'm not going to be like anyone else saying, oh, I don't need a woman. Oh, yeah, I need one. I need a woman. I mean, a good, fit, healthy, intelligent, courageous, inspirational, motivational. I want all of it. I want all of her. Okay. She's strong when I'm weak. All of those things. Tell me when my shit stinks. I want that. I may not like it, but that's what I want. And that's what we are afraid of sometimes, more times than not. And fellas, I know the pickings are slim nowadays. Let me tell you, when I look at the statistics, when I look at the amount of women out here belong to the street type of women, the pickings for us is very, very slim. And I'm pretty sure the women will say the same thing. But for us, the pickings are very slim. Now, women in this country, I think, outnumber the men anywhere from 3 or 2 to 1. So you have a great opportunity to meet of various types of women. See, I want someone who understands me. I know there's many of people, and we're going to get into it, that date outside their race. They rather date other people. Okay, that's what you want to do. That's not for me. Because I have done that, and it was not beneficial for me in a dating relationship. There's a lot of understanding of culture, tradition, upbringing that other people I dated outside of my race, they just didn't understand. They didn't understand how I perceive the world. So it's very important. This cigar is so darn good. I mean, it burns smooth and slow. I'm going to have to get some more of these. Man, anyway, sorry about that. Had a good moment here. But these are the things that we're looking for. Let's talk about it. I remember me and my wife, we were talking about how we live a really decent life. We live an okay life. We really don't want for them. We're both working professionals. And that's a partnership. You know, I say, hey, I know what I want. I want a woman who works. You know, the whole power couple thing. And that's why I say I respect a lot of things that Kevin Samuel says. But I do have a different narrative, because you could be a high value man, but you still may want a woman who works. Right? You know, and it's not about her having her own and her being a boss. No. I like a woman who will contribute, who has a piece of the pie, who have skin in the game when it comes to the household, finances, travel, building your empire. But I don't fault men who want the woman to stay home and take care of the kids, take care of the business while they go out and work. I don't have nothing against that either. That's why I told you in the beginning of this video, you have to know what you want. Stop having people to tell you what you should go out and get or what you should do for you. No. You're your own person. You know what you want. If you don't know what you want, you may want to go find out what you want. And you need to tell these women what you want and what you expect. Because the right women will eventually come along, fellas. You have to ask those hard questions. And here's the thing. There's no appropriate time. Oh, you know, on the first date, that's too personal. No. Whatever you want to ask, I've learned this. Whatever you want to ask a woman on the first date, ask them. Ask them. Because this is who you are. Because a lot of times you hold back yourself. Now, of course, there's some cordial, there's some customs and courtesies that you're like, hey, would you sleep with me tonight? I mean, any reputable woman will probably bypass that, get up. But I'm saying is those questions that you're looking for in order for you to continue or, start a relationship with her and then end up marrying her. Because what are you doing? Are you just out here to date or you're out here to marry? Okay. Because I know I've met a couple of women who were serial daters. And they told me, they said, hey, I just want to let you know I'm dating other people. You dating other people? Well, yeah, I'm not going to put my eggs in one basket. Okay. She said, you're not dating other people? I said, no, I'm not dating other people. I don't have the time to date multiple people. And here's what I'm thinking. They're doing what they want to do. So if you want to date other people, date other people. Me personally, when I was dating, I didn't like that, but I did it. Okay. I didn't like it because number one, it was expensive, just being real with you. It was expensive. But then it was getting to the point where I was dating so many people, I forgot who I was freaking dating. I had like a notepad. I think I'm going on a date with Keisha tonight. And I used to have all these stats. I think Keisha's around 5'5", 135. She's the one that works for Kroger. You know, I had a whole stat list. You know what I'm saying? Her future goals is to be a psychiatrist, blah, 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 blah. Because I was dating so many people, I was getting lost. I couldn't even remember some of the conversations I had. I said, you know what? You need to slow all the way down. Now, I'll be truthful. When I met my wife, when I started talking to my wife, I was talking to multiple women, but not in a sense of romance. I know that I'm an extrovert. Okay. I can be introverted, but I'm definitely an extrovert. And so sometimes I just like have conversations to pick people's brain. Just to pick people's brains. So I was talking to a couple of women, but I wasn't really doing nothing with them. I wasn't romancing them or anything like that, but it wasn't healthy to the women that I really wanted to vet, date, and marry. So there's some sacrifices that come into that. Now, granted, if you're a baller, you're a shot caller, you know, you're a high value man, and you want to go date multiple women and see where that goes, then so be it. But let me tell you, it's very expensive and it's very confusing. It's like you a manager working for a business, and you got to remember all your employees. Oh, Steven, isn't it your birthday today? Like, you got to remember, you know, her favorite color, her birthday, anniversary, her kids, their ages, their names. I used to write all that stuff down. Like, okay, I'm going out with Shaniqua tonight. She got 2 kids. You know what I'm saying? So I got tired of that. Because to me, if I got to do all of that, I'm playing too many damn games. So I had to be straight up. And this is for you guys who really want to be with a woman and be serious about it. But listen, fellas, it's not about what they want. It's about what you want. Because here's the thing. You're going to come into the door. They're going to evaluate you. And they're going to say, this is what I want or this is what I don't want. See, the problem is, as men, we've been trying to give women what they want, but we're not happy. And see, what I realized with my wife, and I'm pretty sure she probably realized a lot longer than I, is that this is the man in front of me. This is who he is. He's shown me this. He told me this. He showed me this. He showed me this. So is this somebody that I like to be with for the rest of my life? She said yes. And when I got to her, I already knew what I wanted. I said, is this the person that I want to be with? And then those really gray areas, you talk about, hey, are you willing to do this? Or are you willing to stop this or do that? Those compromises. And guess what, fellas? If the women don't want to compromise, then she ain't the person for you. I don't care how good she looks. I don't care how successful she is. Okay? I don't care how tied up in network she's up. No, not at all. Not at all. You have to know what you want. Because at the end of the day, regardless of the situation in your relationship and marriages always go through ups and downs. It's like someone that's, hooked into an EKG of their vitals. Beep, 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 beep. And that's how relationships and marriages go. The point is, when your relationship is at the low, you fight, you work it out with that particular other so you can get back on the up and up. See, early on, what I used to do in those low points of my relationship is like, oh man, it ain't working out, I'm done. And some of these women could have been really, really good. Now, granted, I'm glad they didn't work out because I wouldn't have found my honey. Okay. And even with my honey, we go through ups and downs. We have attitudes every now and again, but we get through those things for the sake of the marriage because we know we're better together. Because I can tell you the one thing that me and my wife have, we have fun. We have fun. I mean, we go on vacation, we have fun. We don't go on vacation. We're right here in the house together. We are chasing each other, wrestling, flipping, laying on each other, eating popcorn, watching movies, having people over, having really great discussions. We have fun. She don't just make me happy. See, that's the thing. We need to understand that happiness is predicated upon someone happen to do something for you. Oh, she makes me happy because
she gives me food. Oh, he makes me happy because he brings me flowers. See, that is the word. That is the word happiness. That's what it's based upon. What somebody happens to do for you. No, she is my sense of joy. She is my sense of joy. And that's what I think. It don't matter what state that our marriage is in. She's my sense of joy, and that's what I understand. We have to understand that some people will say that marriage is a business, that marriage is a business contract. And I understand that narrative. I've actually said that before too, because it is. Because you're combining essentially two people, two different life forms, two different personalities, and you guys have to work through each and everything to come to a common goal of companionship. I don't want anybody to be alone in this life. Let me tell you, I used to sit up there in my 2-bedroom apartment, saving my money, doing great things, still giving you guys great financial information, lonely as hell. Oh yeah, lonely as hell, sitting in my apartment. So the question is, fellas, are you willing to deal with somebody? Are you willing to let all the childish sleeping around, cursing women out? Are you ready to be a freaking man and really be in a relationship with a woman? Because I can tell you right now, the first date is like your interview. No. See, the question is, most men, when we go on dates, we know that we're being interviewed. But the problem is we're waiting for the interview from her. No, you go in and you're the manager, you're the supervisor, you're the hiring manager, and you should go in and interview her. Ask her 100 questions. Because you guys go on them dates. Where you from? Where you was born? Where you work at? What do you do? What's your degree? What's your goals 3 years from now? They ask you all those things, right? You should be asking them first. Because when you do that first, this like, he ain't playing around, girl. He asked me he asked me about everything I could possibly think of. Because again, you want to know if you're willing to invest your time and money for another date. Do you want to see her again? Don't when you go out and get a job, right? You're going out, let's take, for instance, you want to be a manager at Goldman & Sachs. You want to be a manager, a bank manager at Goldman & Sachs. So the first person that emails you is who? The recruiter. Next thing you know, they say, okay, we like what we hear. Move you on to the hiring manager. The hiring manager calls you up and say, hey, are you okay? Or emails you, say, are you okay with a 30-minute interview? You're there, yeah, okay. You do a 30-minute interview over video chat, over the phone, in person, whatever the case may be. They say, okay, cool. Now you have a series of 2 to 3 more interviews. I call those dates. Those are dates. See, we are already at the 5th date. If you count those 3 managers, count the recruiter, and you count the hiring manager, recruiter, and the 3 other managers you may be working under or working with. That's 5 dates. Because here's the thing. The first date, you should really ask all your questions. The 2nd, 3rd, 4th, all these other dates, you should be really vetting if this is somebody you want to deal with. And out of those dates, fellas, you want to take them to multiple, not just going out to eat and drink. Take them out to a physical activity. Because if you're a physical guy, if you're about health, nutrition, and all of that, then take them to something where they got to get down and dirty. Say, hey, for our 3rd date, what do you think about doing a Spartan run? A Spartan run? Hey, what do you think about going to the beach and go swimming? See, these are the things that men don't do. What happens is we get with these women, and I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not the type of guy that like women who wear a lot of like makeup and fake hair and eyelashes. I don't like none of that stuff. I like all natural, okay? I'm just going to let y'all know I like all natural. And women who are all natural, they're okay with getting into the ocean. They're okay, doing a Spartan run. You have to know what you want, men. It's a selfish act when you go out and date. Because again, once you get past of the physical attributes and the beauty behind that mask, what is there? Behind that mask, with it, and I don't mean the mask of makeup, okay? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the beauty that you see, what's in here and what's in here. That is the point where you got to get to. Now, with that being said, let me show you something else, family. When I'm looking at this, a population of men, melanated men in America is 21 million, okay? It's 21 million. And we won't even get into the dating scene of things, because when I scroll down here and I look at the education of us, only 50% of us are attending college, and only 19% and higher are actually getting bachelor's and master's degrees. Now, and again, they're not factoring in certifications, okay? But in this life, you need to have a certain set of skills and or an experience to back up with your education, okay? Let me move on. They're talking about more education, about less than high school diplomas. They're talking about employment, about the labor force. And when we look at the women, let me scroll up here a little bit. 22 million melanated women to 21 melanated men. So there is a million women out there that possibly don't have a mate. I'm not going to get into homosexuality and not get into all of those things. Not at all. Okay. I'm just going off the basic numbers here, because I believe these things are very important for us to understand. Now that we know the ratio of men to women, let's move over to marriage. Okay. Let's move over to marriage. And I'm going to read this. I'm going to try to blow this up for you guys. Okay. And I'm just going to read a little bit of this. And again, if you guys want to follow along, this is from blackdemographics.com. That is blackdemographics.com. And it says here that over the last few decades, marriage has been a declining institution among all Americans. And this decline is even more evident in the Black community. Fellas, the question is this: are you better with a cooperative female, or are you worse? Are you better with a cooperative female, or are you worse? Because right now you make $50,000. Right now you make $65,000. Even if she brought in $40,000, you guys are already over $100,000. Could your life be better? Could you live in a better house, in a better neighborhood? Could you buy the things for your kids and for yourself and for her? Could you guys live a better lifestyle than what you're living now? That's the question that I have for you guys. See, I'm not worried about all the issues and stuff that women are dealing with. This is a one-way conversation with men. I'm talking strictly to the men. Because a lot of us believe that we have to make all these astronomical amounts of money to live a good life. But the problem is, listen, there's two genders in America. Oh, excuse me. I'm talking about America. There's two genders in the world, male and female. And let me tell you, some things just fit. Some things just fit. So we are meant to be together. We are meant to be together. Now, some people may think, we're just meant to be together for procreation. No, we're meant to be together to live a prosperous and elevated lifestyle. See, when you combine her 40 grand and you're 65, you guys together are making $105,000. That means that your debt to income ratio just went down. The debt went down and your income went up. Again, you guys are better together, but this is what you needed. This is what you guys need to see, fellas. Good evening, OG mods. Now, and again, it says in 2019, only 30% of melanated people were married compared to 48% of all Americans. 30%, only 30%. And it says here half or 50% of melanated Americans have never been married compared to 34% of all Americans. That is crazy. 50% of us have never been married compared to only 34% to everyone else. Let me move on. It says right here, when we look at the married compared to never married, and this is for melanated men, they're saying 33%, 3% separated, 10% divorced, 3% widow, and then 52% never married. When we're looking at the melanated women, only 27% of them have been married, 13% of them have been divorced, 4% separated, 8% widowed, and 48% never married. Now, what you're about to see is no surprise to us, okay? Because here's the thing I want us to look at. And we try to make excuses for our other brothers. We have to make excuses even for ourselves when we start to date outside our race. When you date outside your race, it's a conscious decision that you're making. Am I saying that's wrong? No, it's your choice. You can do whatever you want. But you know what hates me? I hate interrace racism. What I mean by interrace racism is that people belonging to the same race shows racism, and we're talking about dating and marriage, that they won't date the same people who look like their parents, who look like their mother, who look like their father. Oh, no, man, I don't date melanated. I don't date Nubian women. I don't date melanated women. Why not? Oh, yeah, man, they got attitudes. They got problems. All of them, all 22 million of them, I beg to differ. I beg to differ. My brother is married. My mentor Mitch is married. My mentor Jay is married. They've been with their wives for years and years and years. I know my brother, he's been married, 15 years? Jay's been married for 30 plus years? And I know what you're going to say is, hey, Ross, the women of today are different. Yes, they are. But let me tell you this. Even my wife's parents been married for 20 plus years, I believe. But here's the thing. There's still good, wholesome women out there. And you got to get to them before they get to them. There's a lot of wholesome women out there in their 20s. There's a lot of women who've been through a lot of things who are now wholesome again in their 30s and 40s. Okay, family? Don't settle for bucketheads. Don't settle for skeezers. Don't settle for gold diggers. Don't settle for women who will manipulate you. Don't settle for it. You know the whole term, like, I ain't settling for nobody. You know, that's how women used to do. Men, don't settle. You should get exactly what you want. You just have to be patient. You have to be patient. Let me carry on here. This is very important. It says here, well, thank you, OG Maz. I appreciate that. Just want to pop that up very quickly, and it's gone. However, it says here, while melanated men marry white women, listen to this, while melanated men marry white women at twice the rate that melanated women marry white men, in 2017, only 15% of melanated men were married to non-melanated women, which is up from 11% in 2010. So interracial marriages and dating is increasing. It says that about 3/5, I hate that number 3/5, if you realize in the system of white supremacy during Jim Crow and prior to that, they considered melanated people 3/5 of a person. I digress. This is a small history lesson within the lesson. That 3/5 of those non-Nubian women were white. So there is evidence of an increase of Nubian men marrying out their racial demographics. There is evidence of an increase of Black men marrying out of their racial demographics. I wonder why that is. She belonged to the streets. Do I have a problem with interracial dating and marriage? I can care less. I just know what I want. I know what I want. I wanted a sweet, beautiful, intelligent, submissive, cooperative, melanated woman. And I told her this, it took me 40 years to find you. Men, let me tell you, sometimes it's going to take you decades to find the right one. And believe me, when you find the right one, do not fuck it up. Don't mess it up, fellas. Also, it says here, as a matter of fact, that the Pew Research Center released a reporting finding that 25% of melanated males, newlyweds in 2013, married non-Nubian women, compared to 12% of Black women who married out. However, Asian women and Native Americans still have the highest rates of interracial marriage. It says here that Black women were the least likely to marry non-Black men at only 7%. Men, that is saying something. This is like a video within a video, because when you really think about it, are melanated women not marrying non-Black men because Black men are tired of dealing with them? Or they have a sense of pride, they have a sense of relationship and commitment to the Black male? Or nobody wants to deal with their attitudes, personalities, female, masculine, alpha aggression? I mean, again, there's a multitude of things and variables that we can absolutely look at, fellas. But at the end of the day, statistics show, and this is coming from blackdemographics.com, that melanated women want to be with melanated men. And I know the question you have is, are they willing to actually have a loving, respectful relationship with you? That's the question, right? That's the question. It says here that marriage in 2017 among non-Hispanic melanated Americans aged 15 and up, it says, we look at the statistics here, 85% have had a melanated wife. We look at white spouse, we look at Hispanic spouse. And note, there are 479,000 more married Black men than married Black women. And see, this is where I kind of shade and slide over to the Kevin Samuels thing, is basically saying, roof, roof, buy a dog and die alone. If women are not willing to deal with you, if women are not willing to deal with you. And here's the thing. Let me point this out before I go to this next point. You already know what you want. You already know what you want, fellas. You know if you want a melanated woman. You already know if you want a white woman. You already know if you want a brown Hispanic woman. You already know if you want a yellow Asian woman. You already know. You already know if you want a Pacific Islander. You already know what you like. Oh man, I love me some Spanish flies. I love me some mamacitas. Ooh, I sure do love those snow bunnies. I love me some Lucy Lou's. I'm just saying, you already know what you want. Okay? I won't get into what I believe was good for you. That's your choice. You'll figure it out. I just know culturally, traditionally, I know what I needed and I know what I wanted. I know what I needed and I know what I wanted. And I just want to thank the universal God above that I found it. I'm just saying. Let's move on. It says, who Black women marry. Uh-oh. And it says, note, White refers to non-Hispanic, white alone, black to non-Hispanic, black alone, and others. It says here that 93% of married black women have a black husband, compared to 85% of black men. 4%, if we go back up here to the chart, have a white husband. Less than, we're looking at what, 1%, less than 1% have a Hispanic, and then other, okay? That's what we're looking at. But we go down here to the black interracial marriage. We see the large disparities here in the difference of ratios of interracial marriages. And again, it goes down to what you really want. It goes down to what you really want. So for you guys who are just joining in or joining in pretty late, I think you should probably just go back in the video to the beginning, because we covered a multitude of things here. And I think it's imperative, I think it's important that the premise of dating a beautiful, cooperative, submissive, in shape woman is not just a hallmark of what you should be looking for. Because I think that to have a sustainable relationship in marriage, you guys probably need some commonalities. You probably want some commonalities. I'm gonna give you one example. When I was going to college in West Virginia, got a football scholarship. And so, of course, the population of West Virginia is majority Caucasian, right? So, of course, you know, there's a lot of snow bunnies out there. Very, very few, melanated women there. So I say, you know what? Never dated a white girl. Let me date a white girl. So there's one incident occurred that really woke me up. See, that's a lot of time. A lot of us are asleep. That's why we use the term woke. We went to this pizza parlor. And when I walked into this pizza parlor, yes, you already know what I'm about to say. I was the only black guy there. And I showed up with a white woman in West Virginia. And at the time, our coach told us, he said, hey, I want you guys, he got all the black athletes together. I don't know if he should have did this, but I'm glad he did. He said, I just want to make you guys aware when you're out here in town, the adjacent cities, that you're black in West Virginia. And the majority of people who are white. And there's a lot of racial tension. So I want to make you very, very aware of the situation that you're in. So he kind of gave us, a little shook if you would sleep. So anyway, in this pizzeria, we walked in, and you ever heard the terminology where like all these people turn around and look at you? That occurred to me. I'm not bullcrapping you. It occurred to me. And I looked at her. They went back to eating, but they were still staring and looking. They were scouring like that masked scoundrel, just looking at me really weird and crazy. And I say, hey, listen, I don't feel comfortable here. People are staring, and she's like, oh, you're over exaggerating. It's not like that here. And I know what I felt. I know what I saw, but she was very dismissive in her posturing, very dismissive in her, just her verbal comments, like, oh, you're over exaggerating. There's no racial tension here, and blah. I said, no, I don't feel comfortable. But here's the thing. When I told her I don't feel comfortable, the red flag didn't hit her. Like, oh, we in West Virginia. I know I'm from here, and I never really hear anybody. But she didn't get it, right? She didn't get that I was uncomfortable. Say, okay, let's find someplace else. Let's order it to go, or something else, and let's still sit down and eat. No, we'll be fine. Let's come on. I'm like, no, I'm not comfortable. I said, well, you know what? You go ahead and eat. I'm leaving. So I left out, and she followed me, of course. And she made a whole big deal on our way back to campus. Long story short, that relationship did not last long. And what I realized when I was dating black women, and even with my wife, we going someplace, we're not comfortable. We may feel some racial tension. Say, babe, I'm not feeling it. Me either. Let's go. Or babe, I'm not feeling you. You okay? Yeah, I'm okay, babe. Just let's go someplace else. She's like, okay, babe. Because she understands. Because it's cultural, right? It's intrinsic to our nature and our bodies and our emotions and feelings and spirit. We just feel it with every being, like this is not a good place for us. So that's my little small short story. And it was an eye opener. And I'm not saying that other women of different ethnics and different races wouldn't have left and understood where I was coming from. But that is the experience that kind of woke me up. And I realized in so many other ways, the joy, the power, the connection of being with a melanated woman. I really start understanding that there's really nothing hard about being with somebody that looks like me, that looks like my mother, that, the father never met, but essentially someone who is mirroring and what my children may look like. I started to understand. I started understanding that even greater day in and day out. But I don't fault anyone who wants to date outside their race. If that's what you believe it takes for you to be happy. But I just really hate those guys who have interrace racism. Like, I ain't dating no black women because they this and they that. You don't know all black women, bro. There's some gems, there's some diamonds out here. Some with really, really sweet spirits, sweet personalities that, again, I told my wife, 40 years, I found you. And I'm not letting her go. If she try to leave for whatever reason, I'm jumping on her back with the couch and a book bag, and we leaving together. You ain't leaving me. You ain't leaving me. This is it, okay? And I think that's how we have to be. Once you give your life to someone, there's a commitment, fellas, and you have to live through that commitment, through the thick and the thin. And I'm going to be truthful with you. I look at other women like, damn, but I know what I got at home. Is it tough? You get the little tinkle down there, right? You get a little tinkle, like, shit, man, you know what I'm saying? I smashed, man. But I know what I got at home. And believe me, my wife is a very sweet, cooperative woman. I mean, she is. So when you get somebody like that, it's almost like hard to, it's really hard to do something to someone that the only thing they have is love you and respect you. We're talking about like arguments, fellas. Like our arguments are like discussions. Like, babe, I don't like what you did. Well, the reason why I did that was, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I don't like that. I'm not going to talk about it. But it's not yelling and screaming and calling names. I know I found me a diamond. Is it hard to find those? Yes. Is social media making it hard? Yes. Are some of these new age women easily to influence? Yes. But I can tell you right now, and I'm going to get off this. When a woman shows up on a date and she got fake eyelashes, I am so symmetrical. I'm so dealing in the details. I'm looking at 3-inch, 4-inch eyelashes. And my question is, why? Why do you have on those long eyelashes? Now, I know there's some women out there who have like eyelash problems where they really don't have no eyelashes, but they wear those really little small ones. Okay. I don't like it, but I understand you have a medical condition probably, But there's some women out there wearing these long eyelashes. They wearing a little bullhorn nose ring. Again, it's what you like. It's what you like. My question is this the woman you want to take to your company's dinner with the long eyelashes, with the bull ring, tatted up? Is that what you want? If that's what you want, then that's what you should go out and look for. Because I'm not going to judge the women by who they are. Because at the end of the day, you pick men. You pick. It's your pick. Because more times than not, men are approaching women, right? Men are approaching women. So you went and picked her, and whatever you receive, whatever you get, that's what you asked for. That is what you asked for. I'm going to do this one compare and contrast because I know this is a one-way conversation talking to the men. And ladies, if the dreaded cornrow, plait, thug life, sagging jeans, Balenciaga shoes, Gucci shirt, if that's what you want, who live in a 2-bedroom apartment with his boy, his mom, his dad, his 2 kids, his ex, all in the 2-bedroom apartment, that is exactly what you're going to get. Okay? So fellas, this is my message to you. Get your mind right, get your paper right, and go out and get what you want and not what nobody else tells you what you should get. Man, you should be looking for a girl like this, and you should be looking for a girl like this. If you like a hood girl, then go get a hood girl, because that is what you like. Because I can tell you this, my many experiences in dating told me what I didn't want. So I go out and tell men, no, don't let these other men tell you what you should get. You'll be happy because you may be in a time in your life where you're on that thug shit. And you're like, yeah, man, I like me a little hood girl. We sit up there and we drink Hennessy together. We drink the 40 ounces. We smoke blunts. You should do that. Go and get it. Go and get what you want, bruh. Because I know I was in a time in my life where I wanted, this women with nice bodies. I didn't care what they had upstairs, and it used to drive me absolutely crazy. Couldn't have a conversation with them at all. I'm a person that likes to philosophize and have intellectual conversations. I can do that with my wife. I couldn't do it with them. It was like empty up there. They had beauty, they had the butt, they had the breasts, they had all of it, but they had nothing upstairs, and it drove me absolutely crazy. And I realized what I wanted. I realized I really don't need a huge butt. I just need for her to be fit, small, intelligent, beautiful. So I went out and I got what I want. Just like when you have enough money to buy the type of car you want, they said, man, those Hondas, they real reliable. I don't want a Honda. I want a Porsche. Oh, okay. Gas is real expensive. I can pay for gas. That's what I mean. Go out and get what you want, because if it's not the right thing for you, you would definitely find out. That's all I'm saying. What's going on, Percy? This video is shout out to Percy. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Thank you for the donation, brother. And for you guys out there who donate to the channel, I thank you very, very much. All your money is going to the equipment for this channel to be better. Believe me, better. This is a new mic stand, and this is all from donations from the channel. So I do invest all your money back into better equipment and better products for the channel. Thank you very, very much. This is Financial Literacy 101. And as always, we're going to rock out to some music while I sit here and enjoy the rest of my cigar for a couple of moments. If you guys have any questions, please leave it in the chat, and I will address them as we're rocking out here, okay? Oh, yeah. Let's get into it. Oh, yeah. Any questions that you fellas may have, let me know. And don't forget, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I give my stock advice. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, anywhere between 8 and 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Tuesdays and Thursdays, I give financial information. And also, don't forget, on Tuesday nights, I do my second cigar talk. Oh, yeah. Sometimes you just gotta rock out and feel that rhythm, man. What else I got? In November, for my birthday, we're going on a cruise. We're going with a couple of other couples. I think we're gonna have a really good time. And I'm gonna try to find these cigars. This is a really good cigar. Like, I know you heard me say it about other cigars, but this is competing with my Fat Bottom Betty's. This Cohiba Limited 2021. Very smooth, very mild. I like it. Hey. Put this up here in the chat. Also, as I'm rocking out here, just in case somebody want to pop in with me, I'll leave a link. I'll leave a link in the chat here, fellas, in case anybody want to rock out here with me. Okay. Anybody want to rock out with me? We can have a quick discussion. I got a couple of more minutes here. Then I got to go meal prep because me and my wife, we went on vacation. I probably gained like 10 pounds. I gained like 10 pounds on vacation, man. I was having all these sugary drinks. My stomach was getting flat. You know, it was getting flat down. It's coming back. I mean, my arms are still good. I can work on my biceps a little better. You see how my biceps are soft? You know, you gotta. And here's another thing. As we're ending the video here, she's staying in shape for her, but it looked good to me. I'm staying in shape for me, but it looked good to her. She said, "Baby, your stomach's getting flat. Oh, I like your arms." We compliment each other. It gives each other encouragement, right? There's so many facets and so many sides of relationship, but man, it's just being good to one another. You know, not having a large ego. She stroked my ego, I stroke her ego. She like, babe, nah, babe, you look great, girl. I said, you know, we're gonna work out though, you know. I'm learning new ways to talk to, you know, my wife. Like, babe, do I look, you know, I said, girl, you know, we're gonna be working out when we get back from vacation. We're gonna be good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to tell you, man, it's difficult, man. It took me 40 years to find this lady. Because I like to work out. I like to be active. I like to do activities. And you gotta, and here's the thing. Your wife, on the female, is your best friend. So you're gonna be with your wife, you're gonna be with your significant other, then all your guy friends, you're gonna be with her. So it's good that she liked to do some of the things you like to do. Like, she's not a big TV watcher, but she has adapted to start going to the movies like me. I love the fact that I said, baby, I love going to the movies. So she started going to the movies with me. I love it. Yeah, I got my best friend right here because I call my boys up, hey, man, what you doing? I mean, want to go to the movies? Oh, nah, man, you know, I got to do X, Y, and Z. But your wife right there, ask her. So she's adopted going to the movies, you know. She got me back, you know, running, but my injuries started to hurt more, so I had to slow down in running. But nonetheless, being in a loving, respectful, understanding, great communication relationship, this is what it does for you. This is what it does for you, family. This dude Percy trying to make me stay on here. I'm already an hour and 14 minutes. Percy says here, he said, man, you making married life look good, looking for a good one too. Please don't move vids like this. Please do more vids like this. Okay. I mean, man, I'll try, you know, because a lot of times, you know, I'm when it comes to relationship, I talk about the money piece of it, but I know there are many different facets of a relationship. But the one thing, once you find that special person and you guys go through the whole little puppy love stage, the one thing that I messed up is not willing to work through the puppy love stage. But with her, I did. And with she, believe me, but I'll tell you this, I'm gonna be very, very truthful. Hopefully she's not listening. Shh. Okay, I don't think she's listening. She dealt with more of my bull crap than I dealt with hers. She dealt with more of my bull crap than I dealt with hers. But the point here is I shouldn't have came to the relationship with bull crap. 30s, 40s. If you're ready to settle down, you're ready to settle down. But she told me she knew that I was the right man for her. She knew that I was the right man for her. All right, so let's keep rocking out. I'm about to end this. Okay? I'm about to end this. I don't want to hear that again. Yeah. We're going to get out of here, fellas. But there's some beats I want to hit before I go out here and finish this cigar off. Yeah. But if you have any questions, please let me know. Again, I want to thank everybody who donates and contributes to the channel. As I said before, it goes to all the equipment that you see, the new mic. I bought a new computer screen here, so things will be a lot more easy for me to give you content. So a lot of times I don't ask for donations. You know, you guys donate at your will. But it's weird to me, right? I'm going to say this. I said this before. I'll look at a lot of other people's channel, and I'll call them out by name. I'll look at Kwame Brown. I'll look at Kevin Samuels, and they have their own sort of content, and people are donating. I'm actually giving financial information to people, and nobody donates except Percy. Now, there's some other few people who donate, but except Percy, and it's not like I'm looking for it. But when you guys donate money to a channel, it shows the content creator, myself, the person who's giving the information, that you value their information, that you value their content, you value that they're reading and researching and doing all these things in their spare time. Because I have a full-time job, and I have a side business, and I have a family. So when people come on here, this is a sacrifice. But again, I'm not going to stop giving content because people don't donate, because this is my passion. This is my love. I'm just letting you know, when you donate, it shows people how much you really care and value their content. See, Free World is trying to make me stay in this. You guys are horrible, man. I really got to go. I got to go meal prep. I told her around 6. Free World asked me, how do you handle bills in a serious relationship? Again, this is very tricky. This is very complicated in a sense. Even before me and my wife was married, we did a joint account. We have separate accounts and we have a joint account. And in that joint account, we summed up all the bills of how much it would be for every month. And we're talking about mortgage, because we were both living in the same house, mortgage before we were married, electricity, all your utilities. And I think we put a few extra dollars in there for taxes and incidentals. When you say, how do you handle the bills for us? Because it may be different for everybody else. You may want to assign certain bills to your significant other. Like, hey, listen, I'll take care of the mortgage. You take care of everything else, groceries, utilities, because I've done that too. What we said is, we're going to gather all of our money together, right? And depending on, and this is my perspective, depending on who makes a little bit more money than the other, like me, out of my own personal bank account, I pay for the car insurance. But everything else, I think that we pay out of a joint account. There may be some other things I do financially that is not contributing to the joint account. Then there's some things she does does not contribute to the joint account. Again, it goes back to communication and understanding about how to go about these bills, because we understand that finances, besides infidelity and cheating, is like the number 1, number 2 cause of people breaking up and getting divorced. So if you can get through communication and understanding, boom, you're halfway there. And if you can work through the finance piece of how both of you feel comfortable, then those things won't be a problem at all. But again, I go back to the person you're dealing with. Because if you're dealing with women who are not willing to compromise and come into the fold, then she's not the right one, bruh. She ain't the right one. Okay? When you got people who are selfish, you're trying to build, then things creates a lot of friction. You know, Percy said that I make married life look good and easy. Well, it's a double dynamic to that. It's good, it's easy, it's fun, but it also can be difficult depending on the person who you're with. Depending on the person that you're with. Okay? So again, fellas, I'm gonna rock out of here. I'm gonna definitely rock out of here because I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get in some good trouble with my wife because I know we're gonna start here getting ready for this meal prep. We need to get back in shape, stay in shape. So this is the last song, okay? And I'm gonna be leaving out of here. So whatever your questions are, whatever your comments are, whatever your donations are, go ahead and do so in the chat. And if you notice, I usually kill my cigar by this time, but this Cohiba limited edition 2021, absolutely magnificent. My buddy gave me two. I smoked one last night, and I'm smoking this one right now. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm like, I gotta find some more of these. You guys have a great and wonderful evening. If you have any guys out there that may find value in this video, please share it. And if you haven't already, give this video a like. Dislike, a like, I don't care. I mean, I would rather for you to give it a thumbs up, but give it a like. At least vote on it. That lets me know if you like this content, if you like this information. This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and relationship. And most importantly, be inspired. You gentlemen and you ladies, have a great and wonderful evening. I'm out.